Katrina.
I'm Christina, and we're the Gorgeous Geeks, and we're here to talk about Smallville Season 8, Best and the Worst. Sorry, we are late. We were...
Doing stuff.
Yeah, we're doing stuff, darn it.
You have lives. You have lives.
You don't pay me enough! I'm going to say there's some anti-Klana people on these polls. But you know what? Lana's arc was really bad. Because
it was like, terrible. If I was a Lana fan, I'd be mad.
You know, I always said that when they had that arc, because I'm like, okay, she left season 7 and it was very noble how she left, and she's like, no, Lex had a gun in my head, silly, I wouldn't do that, and it was like, oh, and then she kind of lied and manipulated and got, you know, to get Lex's suit, and Clark is like, to make her super strong and stuff, and Clark is like, this is dangerous, you can't trust it, it's Lex, and she's like, oh please, he's a genius. Everything will be okay.
And this is Power, which was the number one.
Yeah, one that people hated.
The most.
And they just let it go after that, and she could keep it. And I'm just like, yes, Lex is a genius, so why wouldn't you want to get that off? Like, and then Requiem is the one when...
I would say, first of all, I was pissed because I thought Lex was going to come up with his green suit. And I was so mad that Lana stole it. I was like, how dare you steal Lex Luthor's suit? That's how I felt.
This is the one we always talk about. She's like, we're a team now. And so they're looking for the bomb. And she's like, at the Daily Planet, she's like, Clark, I looked everywhere. And he's like, that's why we're a team. And he's like, looking around. He's like, it's on the roof. And it's this humongous bomb.
Of kryptonite.
That he couldn't feel till he opened the door. He couldn't feel it, and she couldn't find it. Lazy and worthless.
Worst duo ever.
She was so adamant about getting these powers, and you couldn't find the bomb. The greatest thing about this episode, though, was Lex's brilliant plan of the only way to stop this was for Lana to absorb it, because her suit can do that. So she absorbs it, and they can't be with each other. And they have to have a tearful goodbye that looked pretty nasty when they try to kiss. And
it was like...
Kristen Kirk acted her butt off, though, in that scene. I'll give her that.
Yes, she did.
You don't mess with Lex Luthor, because this crap happens to you.
Well, you know, there was two things about that really upset me. One was that he couldn't... How in the world was he able to kiss her when he couldn't come near her when she had a necklace on? That was so stupid.
Yeah, because she like walked in the house, it was you know, but like when they got up to like close to the barn, it was like, you know, and then it all goes down in the barn.
And then the second thing was, how could you get closure, you know, with the person that you want to be with more than anybody and move on, when it's a thing of I can't be with them, not because we've grown apart, not because we don't, you know, just because we can't be together. I mean, that means that every other person you'll be with is like, I love this person, she's great, she's awesome, but that's the one, and I couldn't be with her because I just couldn't be with her.
Here's the thing. Before this, they had this Clark and Lois thing building up, and even in Bride, when Lana first showed up in this season, you know, they were about to kiss. So, and Committed was before that, so Lois admitted that she loved him, and so, you know, there's just, like, they were off to they really had been off to a good start, but things were, like, really gonna bloom. And then the Lana arc happens, they just ship Lois off. She's not in the next, like, 4 episodes or so. And Lana has her arc, and it's all about Clark and Lana again. And then as soon as she's gone, her contract is fulfilled, Lois comes back, and then it's, like, on and popping. It's like, you fickle whore. You fickle little tramp, Clark.
It just didn't make it... In the real world, they just would not make any sense.
My secret.
You know, because when it was happening, it was just like... You know, that's one reason why
it's like he forgot.
It is. It's like he totally forgot about that Lana ever existed at all. And it's just... You know, in the real world, that just would not happen. It just wouldn't, and it was just, it was weird, and I was so mad when they did that, because it's just like, how could he ever say that Lois is the number one in his life with a story like that?
Yeah,
and I was like, you writers are so stupid.
hard to make up for it, and I think they did, especially like I heard someone say, complain about the fact that they didn't like, it was a mother, and she really didn't like the fact that Lana felt she needed to change herself to compare or to be with Clark, be worthy, and she really felt uncomfortable. She said, I don't want my kids to watch something like this and have to feel that way for a guy.
Right.
And so I'm like, oh, you know, that makes sense. But, so, I mean, Lana felt like she needed to be more, and Lois just fit. I didn't want to see Lana again, but at the same time, I'm like, I want them to resolve this mess of a situation. Yeah. So I wish, you know, she'd come back and be her, like, kryptonite. Obviously, it has an effect on people because that's the premise of the show most of the time.
Yeah.
So, her having this suit and having absorbed that much kryptonite, you would think it'd be killing her or something like that. Because even, like, if you watch the animated series, you know, Lex started developing a condition not because he had it in him or something, he just carried a lot of kryptonite around. Because, you know, he was always trying to kill Superman. So, but they didn't do anything like that, and they didn't really mention her a lot, only sometimes with a relationship. But you just have to assume that she's out there in the world saving people, because they don't give you that impression. It seems weird that even Chloe didn't say, you know, Lana's in Peru saving children. Also, other bad things. Overall, I did like this season.
I thought season 8 was just... I saw season 8, I was like, oh my goodness, they are getting better.
Yeah, they're picking it up.
They're getting better.
But a lot of people won't say that, and I'll tell you why. The finale! The finale! Okay, you had Chloe and Davis, and they had this kind of relationship thing. You know, like, I'm with Jimmy, I can't be with you, but I kind of, what is this? And he's just like obsessed with her. I need you, and then so she like even runs off with him at one point, and I'm doing this for Clark, and which was bull to me. Yeah. And after she got married to Jimmy was like on drugs, and Davis was like set him up, and Chloe's just like, oh, Jimmy, you're on drugs, and it's just he's just like, no, he kills people.
It's just like poor Jimmy, like he just never.
Yeah, or Henry. So you need to find out to the finale. It's
like, it's like what? I was shocked. I was like, they just killed Jimmy Olsen. It's like, you know, and it's like, no, he was actually Henry. Ha 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 ha. It was just like
not cool.
You know, it was just.
I don't care whatever you say. I don't believe.
And it just annoyed me so much. I think Chloe probably. This is when I couldn't take any more of Chloe, because she's always been a thing of trust, and like she'll come and say, I'm a loyal friend. I'm a loyal friend. Who are you loyal to? Because she was just, you know, just. It seemed like she was just doing what she wanted when she wanted to do it, and just making that, using Clark as an excuse to do what she wanted to do.
Do you know why it's surprising that they had the real Jimmy and the actor come and play him for a cameo in the finale? Because they acted like he didn't exist in season 10.
They really did.
She got with Jimmy, and it was like staggering, always trying to get there, and then she's like, no, it's you, I'm over Clark, and then they got married, and then it was just down the toilet from there. And then they reconciled right before Jimmy died, because Davis was unconscious. They separated the Kryptonian side from the human side, even though, from my understanding, he was, you know, all alien. Anyway, I don't understand how, you know.
Well, Oliver had it right. He said to just kill him, and Clark was just like, I can't kill. I just can't do it. I can't kill anybody. I can't kill Lex. I can't kill Starro. I can't kill a fly. The mosquito that's drinking the blood from my shoulder. I mean, whatever. He just can't kill.
Yeah, and
he can't do it.
And so Chloe's like, Jimmy, I did that all for Clark. It was all to protect him, because he's my BFF. It was all to protect my BFF. And there's only you. There was always only you. There was no rose petals in my dream with Davis. It was only you, baby.
And you guys
I never kissed that man.
And people can say what they want. Well, she had Brainiac inside. Whatever. She totally...
Yeah, so... And then Davis gets up. He's angry and jealous. Obviously, she was a tease. And then he stabs Jimmy and kills him. And then it's like, people are bad. What?
Yeah.
No.
Clark was just like, you mean it's not kryptonite that makes
it's
bad people bad people? And it's just like, didn't you cover this in season 1?
I'm like, aren't you not human? Like, aren't you not human?
Like, it was crazy. He's like, I realize now that people are just bad.
And he had to
When they
leave
wanna
all
be
depressed because Jimmy's dead. And then when season 9 picked up, it made it seem.
And
all
Oliver
like a
was
lot
so
about the fact
mad
that
at
Lois was
Clark.
scared.
He blamed it all on Clark. Season 8 was so much better than season 7 and season 6 and 5 and 4. And so I was just like, oh wow, it's getting better. And you know, I have to say, a refreshing actor was on there. Sam Witwer. I think he pushed everybody's acting up a notch when they were in season 7.
He was really.
He
good.
is. I mean, you saw him in The Mist. If you saw The Mist, and he's, you know, all stabbing and bleeding and crying against that window, that boy can act. He can act.
They also brought in Cassie Freeman, and she was Tess Mercer. At the time, like, it seemed like I really, really liked her chemistry with Oliver. I really did.
Yeah.
And I wished at the time when she first came on, she used to replace that Luther element, which you find out later that she is a Luther. At first it wasn't quite getting it for me, but she was doing like sufficient, but it wasn't quite there. But you know, she really does end up growing on you. They were confused about her purpose.
Well, I was trying to think, like, is she's supposed to be like Mercy, like Lex's, you know, was that?
It seemed like they did a
Atwood,
blend,
or-
but really she was just original anyway. But
yeah, but you know, you end up loving Tess. And she
I mean about what she's bad, but she's doing it for humanity. But then she's a checkmate person, and then she's like, you know, I'm just talking about how she evolved. But eventually they got there. Eventually, but she was a good addition.
Yeah.
Especially when you look over it, you know, overall.
You know what? It's funny. Both these two people came in on season 8, and they're the ones who ended up interviewing in Smallville. Lucky's 8. The top 2 episodes that you guys, well, the top episode you guys voted for being number 1 was Committed, which I really like that episode. It's when Clark and Lois pretend to be engaged to find a culprit. I guess it was kind of like a filler episode, but it was very entertaining and it was very cute.
Yeah, it was cute. But it did have that cue the kryptonite. Of course, the guy has a kryptonite, you know,
something. And Lois confessed her feelings, and then she was like, no, I slipped it off my finger, Clark.
Really?
Times like that. He's
and
still
she's like,
okay.
you didn't have to answer. And he's like, like thoughts.
Bride got some high points too. And they nice little moments there as well. Lois and Clark, some stuff going there. And then at the end, you know, she's like, what the heck?
Yeah, Doomsday like finally emerged and did something, and Chloe disappeared, and then later, Brainiac has taken over her, and the Legion comes, and they're like, Chloe Sullivan doesn't exist, and it's like, why don't she exist? And then the carrot they dangle in front of your nose again is Chloe gonna die, and I wish they would have just made up their mind about that instead of, you know, always seeming like they're going to kill her or make her disappear forever while they're negotiating her contracts.
Because I thought for sure it was her, because they had said somebody was going to die. And it was like, well, it has to be Chloe. Because it was like, it can't be Clark, can't be Lois, can't be Oliver, and it can't be Jimmy. It was like, it can't be Jimmy. Because, you know, these are characters that are currently in the comic books. And it was like, I was so angry when they killed Jimmy.
No, it's 2 people who's going to die. That's what we're saying.
Oh yeah, 2 people are gonna die. So I thought it was gonna be Davis and Chloe. Hex was a good episode. I really liked Hex as well when Chloe actually gets turned into Lois.
That was a filler.
It was a filler, but I thought it was funny, especially when she came in there and Clark was like, Lois, are your clothes? You know, and he was made a joke about her clothes and stuff like that. I thought it was cool. I thought Erica did a good job. You know,
well, it was okay.
I really liked that episode.
Oh yeah, this was the beginning of Oliver's mopey state, and
he never got out of it.
No, I guess not until you don't really see him get out of it. No, you don't.
No.
Legion was cool.
Yeah, Legion was cool.
I like the Doomsday costume in the dark. In the dark. But in the lights, like we just walked up to it and looked at it as.
Well, you had to do it that way. They would have done it.
I mean,
way.
It wouldn't have been. You know, I'm glad that they did make that attempt, though.
Yeah, because if it would have been any other
At least
way,
they attempted it.
Yeah.
But, because to me, in the dark, like when they first started showing, I'm like, oh, what is this? I'm like, this is pretty good. And then eventually it was in the light, and I'm like, oh. Never mind.
Right. Yeah. But, tell us what you think. Tell us, just leave a comment. And don't forget to vote for Season 9, Best and Worst Episode. My favorite season of Smallville. So, I'm Katrina.
I'm Christina, and we're the Gorgeous Geeks.